to the full experience and adventure in television watching. We take 4 episodes of any given television series and aim to see if we feel like we've gotten conversant in that television series by just watching those 4 episodes. We watched the first, the ultimate, the highest rated on IMDb, the lowest rated, and the last, FULL. And this week, we are beginning a new venture by watching Star Wars Andor. Our first episode, Kassa, first streamed September 21st, 2022. I'm Tom Merritt. He's Brian Brushwood.
Hey, man. There is one thing out of the gates. We just talked about this, by the way, at the end of Cordkillers. But just to remind everyone, we are aware we're doing a high-stakes game with the experiment with Andor because it's, of course, happening as we're doing it. But am I the only one who had the experience of watching this and thinking, oh, yeah, did he ever find his sister? Oh, wait, that's almost certainly a loop they're going to close in the last 3 episodes of season 2.
I don't remember whether he found his sister, stopped looking for her, gave up on her, saw her bones. I've watched all of Andor that has come out so far, and I don't remember that. Didn't he find her? Maybe somebody in chat can spoil it for us.
I don't know.
But yeah, the opening gambit is that he's just looking for his sister. And I know that that's how he gets pulled into the rebellion, is he wants to find information on his sister. And if he helps these people out, then he's able to find more information on her. Part of my brain tells me he eventually does find out what happened to her, but I don't remember if that's that she died or she got thrown in prison or she didn't want to talk to him anymore. I don't know.
I think that the thread kind of got buried, and I think it's going to come back. I think we just stumbled across a bit of a surprise. I don't know. We'll see if we're right. This is one of the complications of doing the full experience concurrent with it.
Okay, here's what a quote from Tony Gilroy says. When asked about, are we ever going to find out what happened to Carrie is her name. Tony Gilroy said, "The door to Carrie's survival remains open." So we haven't found out what happened to her. Everyone assumes she died in the genocide on his own planet, but we don't know that.
Yeah.
However, I only have 4 notes. I almost want to say I had no notes to this episode, but I only have 4 notes the entire time. Usually I have like 20 or 30 notes of me like poking fun or writing weird observations. These are my 4 notes on Andor. Brian, you want to hear them?
Ready. We
know everything about who Cass is in the first 10 minutes, which flew by.
Yeah. The first
10 I originally wrote, we know everything about Cass in the first 5 minutes, then looked and I was like, oh, it's been 10 minutes.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, dude, that opening vignette is fantastic, man. I remember just being so blown away the first time, feeling like, oh my God, if the shield was on Star Wars, this is what it would feel like. And it was interesting to revisit it because I forgot how far it went out of its way to scream, we're not like the other Star Warses.
Yeah. Number 2 note. Lies taking more power is interesting. I'd forgotten about that, where his little droid friend is like, I'll have to charge up if I tell that many lies.
Well, and you know what's really funny is that was a throwaway line 2 years ago. Now it's science fact. Like, to get a smarter AI takes more electricity.
Note number 3 of 4. We know Bix fast. By the way, I'd forgotten they weren't even together at the beginning of this. Lots of good examples of showing, not telling with Bix.
Yeah, right down to everything from what her character's like, the fact that she can't be bothered to stop working, to be intruded upon by Andor, to the significant glances that make it clear that she's dating her coworker, to, I don't know, the way she radiates this independent authenticity. It's great. It's excellent.
It's such a contrast, and I know we really shouldn't be talking about future episodes, but such a contrast to where she goes later.
Mm-hmm.
Note 4, watching this flew by. The flashbacks were the only part that dragged for me. The part where we go back to him as a child.
Well, and in that case, we do have the bias of knowing that we get distracted by much more interesting subjects than any of the flashback stuff. So like the moment we flash back first time through with fresh eyes, I would imagine that would read as pretty interesting. But I know to me, I'm like, don't care about any of this.
Yeah. It doesn't go anywhere. So yeah, it could be the fact that we already kind of know what that's about. But that was the only time where I'm like, oh, right. Okay. I have to sit through this. Everything else was pulling me along, which I also knew. I also know where everything else is going too. But I still found it compellingly told. Now, our producer Amos also is rewatching with us. Amos has not watched season 2 of Andor. He did watch season 1 back when it came out. And Amos, you were saying that you had kind of forgotten everything from season 1 when you watched this.
Yeah, the initial setup on the corporate planet, I'd forgotten all about that. Forgotten about the inspector not giving up when he was supposed to give up on the case. Forgot about the assassination or the execution, I should say, of that second guard. Telling you a lot about who Andor is. I've forgotten all about the flashbacks. I remembered basically the I forget what her name was, the mechanic lady.
Bix.
There you go.
Yeah.
I remember Bix doing a little transmission thing that she does at the end of the episode. And that's pretty much it as far as what I remembered about this first episode. I will say that the first time I watched it, I didn't know what was going on in the flashbacks until about I think the third episode, when it finally kind of comes to fruition. I was like, oh, that's him as a young boy. Watching this time and knowing, immediately making that connection made that part relevant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, now I understand why this is all going here. Okay. And I can watch this with that in mind.
My guess is this time you notice that they do a pretty okay job of making it clear where it's like, a voice from one world is linking to a memory of the past and so on.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Brian, what did you make of this episode?
It was great. I was weirdly I knew it. I mean, this must be my 5th or 6th time to have seen this episode. So going into it, it was a little bit like, all right, got to sit down, got to go to church. I'm sure I'll get something out of it, but I'm going to have to pay attention real hard. Nope. Like instantly I blinked and a half hour had passed. Like we only get to, it's like 30 minutes in and Cyril's being told to clean, to gloss over this.
Yeah.
I just love the company town. I loved the board of it, governance that happened in this world. I loved Cyril's try hard. They do a great job of showing, not telling, where it's like, did you tailor your suit? And he's like, and the defensive a little, maybe just this, and also brought it in, had some alterations. It's like that said everything that we needed to hear about that. It was great. And
I forgot that we get Cyril off the bat.
Yes, and it becomes a little bit of foreshadowing here. I think this is inbounds. It becomes clear that really there are 2 protagonists of Andor, and Cyril is one of them. And both of them, we get our protagonists starting in a low status position, and they do a great. Cyril just seems like the medium bad at the beginning of this show, but instead, no, he is the mirror image of our protagonist structure to follow.
Yeah, he has got
to do right.
He's got his guiding light that he is following the way that Cass does as well. I guess the best part about this is it has the slightest reference to the rebellion in the Empire, referencing it a couple of times in Cyril's story and in her connection where Andor's like, talk to your guy, and you realize, oh, this must be the rebellion. That's why she would have to hide this. It's not just clandestine smuggling sort of situation. It sets out a good story that doesn't point towards Rogue One at this point.
Yeah, and I still have concerns about how tied to Rogue One it, of course, by necessity needs to be. But we also get the introduction of maybe my favorite droid, one of my favorite droids in the entire story. What's his name? It's not BMO something. It's B something.
You mean the droid that I was talking about needing more power to lie?
Yeah.
I'll look up the name in a second.
Character design I thought was really great for that, and the execution. It's so fascinating that kind of like BB-8 in the sequel series was all puppeteered, and then people just made a functioning BB-8 instead. Likewise, a lot of the
B2 emo, B2 EMO.
B2 EMO, yeah.
B2 emo, and you'll find yourself listening to The Cure.
Yep. It's great characters all the way around.
Yeah, and
I want to point out something that I noticed at the very beginning of it. The shots, and I was telling you about this a little bit, Tom. They do an excellent job with maintaining your focus going through the rain to the dirtier parts of the city. Going through the rain, it's nighttime, and so the shots are very focused. You don't see very far down the alley as Andor's kind of creeping through and making his way to the brothel, and then leaving as they're on that little bridge where the conflict happens. They leave a lot of blank space there, a lot of empty space, and you, at least for me, it felt natural to just believe the city just expanded beyond that. It didn't feel like a closed small set. It felt very alive and very full, even with all the emptiness in the frame.
Yeah, and these sets weren't places we know. We weren't yet on Coruscant. We weren't on Tatooine. We weren't on Jakku, and yet they felt like they belonged in Star Wars, and felt different. It didn't feel like, that's just Coruscant with another name, which is what I thought. I remember thinking originally when Andor started, like, oh, we're on Coruscant. Then it puts up you're not on Coruscant. I'm like, oh, it's some Coruscant-like place. I'm like, oh, no, it's much more interesting than that. It's a factory town. It's a company town. It's not a megalopolis. Well,
and also, I don't think they make it terribly clear in the first episode, but that's also not Andor's planet. Like that's
not where he's from, right? That the flashbacks are hinting towards that, but it's not 100% clear.
No. I mean, I don't even think that's the planet that Andor lives on. Is it? It's not the same company he's or anything.
Oh, you mean the opening planet? No,
correct.
Right. You're correct. Yeah. That isn't. He's visiting. Clearly, he doesn't have a pass.
And they did have that BBY-5 on there.
Yeah,
just kind of subtly in the corner. That if you're not a big Star Wars fan, you probably what is that? But if you know, and it like reset my expectations on how far back this story goes and exactly where it is in the timeline. It was like they didn't like shove it down your throat. They just kind of put up on the screen. It just faded away, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. And I guess we only go through a year in this entire season because we're going through 4 years in the current season.
In season 2, yeah.
Season 2, yeah.
Yeah, every 3 episodes. I don't think this is a spoiler for you, Amos. Like every 3 episodes, at the beginning of season 2, it says, 1 year later, and then 3 episodes happen, and then it says 1 year later, and then it says 1 year later.
Yeah. Well, I would tease what the ultimate episode is going to be, but we still have 3 episodes to get rated by people on IMDb. At this point, season 2, episode 8, Who Are You? Is rated 9.8. That would make it the ultimate episode. But we have 3 more episodes to get rated. It looks like that 9.8 is going to hold because enough people have voted now. It's not really been moving. Before that episode came out, season 1, episode 6, which is the prison episode, would have been the ultimate. So I'm a little disappointed that we're not going to revisit that one, but we'll have to tell you in the title of the next full experience what the episode is, whether it's season 2, episode 8, or one of the last 3 episodes. It will not be the ultimate episode. It could only be 210 or 211.
This is one where I'm most interested in Amos's experience, because he will be, no matter what, it's pretty clear he'll be thrust suddenly
all the
into
way
season 2
towards the end of season 2.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
What are we
those
on
would be
track
fun.
for the lowest rated?
The lowest rated looks like it's going to hold with episode 2 of season 1.
Wow.
So that's going to be a whiplash. We're going to go all the way toward the ends of season 2, then to the second episode of the entire series, which is at a 7.3. This episode, the premiere, was only a 7.4 on the rating scale.
Yeah.
And then, it's possible that 10 or 11 go below 7.3. I don't think it's likely, but it's possible. So
what a fascinating whipsaw motion that's going to be. That'll be the first time, the most extreme full experience you've ever had.
Yeah, exactly.
First, last.
Usually the ultimate ends up happening before the lowest, because in longer run series, they tend to get worse towards getting canceled. And so the lowest is usually towards the end of the series.
Yeah.
Not the case with Andor.
This is also the shortest series we've done the full experience on. This is only 24
episodes total.
Whereas some of the shows we've done have had 24 episodes per season for multiple seasons.
Yeah.
So this is
the shortest would be the Star Trek movie that we watched.
As well, it was part of a longer series, I guess. But yeah, you're right. We only did that one episode.
Well, no. Remember, it was supposed to be a spin-off series that they.
Oh, you mean
right,
yes,
right.
the Section 31. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That is the shortest.
Although
if you consider it a series.
It felt really long though, so there's that.
It felt longer than 24 episodes in some ways.
It felt longer than any of these episodes did, I guarantee you.
That is a fair assessment. Well, that is it for the full assessment. The full experience. If you would like to get these episodes early, if you'd like to know why we made this decision, you want to hear it happening in real time, get After Talk. That's where Brian and Amos and I all talk about how we do stuff, what we're thinking, more candid opinions. That's all available to patrons at patreon.com/Cordkillers. We'll see you next time.